Hey, hello there. If you guys can hear me, let me know that everything is cool. And the chat, say hello, and Instagram too. Is that working on Instagram? Hold on a second. Live. There we go. Good morning. Hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, now Instagram is working. Cool. All right, and now lots of people showing up. Good. Welcome. Great to see you all here from all these different places. I know a lot of you, I know a lot of people are at school. If you're in the States and you're at school. So I know it's not the best time. Okay, welcome. Yeah. So today we are announcing the winners of the Better Sax giveaway contest. This is my contest for celebrating getting to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Took a while to get it all together. I had planned to be giving away some saxophones when I announced that contest way back, this contest was upcoming back in September, October. Anyway, now we're ready. We had to do several prototypes in putting the saxophone together and making it, test, and then we'd say, okay, this is good, but let's change this, and you change some things, and then we had to make our decisions about which how we wanted it to be. So we're giving away the 4 best of those prototypes. There's some others, but we didn't want to give those away because we weren't so happy with them. But the 4 that we're giving away are excellent, and some of them are almost identical to the actual production model of the Better Sax, and some of them were like top contenders, but we didn't end up going in that direction. But they're still very good. And once we catch up on the production of the actual Better Sax, then we'll do some giveaway contests in the future with that one. But first we have to make all the instruments, and there's been quite a lot of pre-orders already, so now it's like trying to catch up with the orders that everyone has put in and make sure we get the first saxophones are going to go to the people that have ordered them, and then once we're all caught up, hopefully we can do some more promotions like this, giveaways. I know you guys really enjoy the chance to win a saxophone. I wish we can't give one to everyone, but four is already a lot, right? That's pretty good. Give away 4 saxophones. And making it to 200,000 subscribers, that's a lot too. That's kind of unbelievable. So thank you all. If you're subscribed to me on YouTube, thank you for helping us to get there. And as well on Instagram, everybody that subscribes on Instagram, thank you. How many? I think we're getting close to like 40,000 on Instagram, that's really good too, right? So the challenge is like keep making content for both these platforms, and while making the saxophones. I have some questions for you that I was wondering before we get to announcing the winners, and while we're waiting for more people to show up. I have some questions. So I guess you're all probably excited about this new alt saxophone. Lots of people have, since this came out, lots of people have been asking about a tenor. So who would be interested in a Better Sax tenor? Just like say something in the comments. Or would you, do you not play tenor? Or is that something you wouldn't be interested in? And if we were to do a tenor, would it be most interesting to have something, along the same lines, like a less expensive instrument, a more affordable, accessible instrument, rather than try to make something that, in the higher price range. I went into designing this saxophone with the idea that, there's a lot more people that want a good instrument that doesn't cost a ton of money. So I'm hoping that's the thing. And there's a lot of answers. So it looks like they're pretty much everyone's saying yes, me, yes. There's a lot of great, really expensive saxophones out there already. But there's not as many really good, less expensive instruments on the market. So I thought this was something we needed to do. And the tenor is going to, the tenor is obviously going to cost a little bit more if we go down that route. But anyway, we're exploring that possibility. Okay. Thank you for all your answers. I'll look through them later. Another question: who would be interested in a better sax mouthpiece? Because I have been looking at lots of different. I love mouthpieces, and I have many favorite mouthpieces. And what I always say is, each one of us has to find their. Once you've developed your sound and the style, how you want to play, then you can start thinking about finding the ideal mouthpiece for you. And it's going to be different for everyone. And sometimes it could be many ideal mouthpieces. So my goal wouldn't be to create like the mouthpiece that I would say everyone should play, but rather create a mouthpiece that I think would suit a lot of developing players and allow people, something that like I would have wanted like when I was, learning to play or coming up and starting to play in lots of different situations. So that's what it would be. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. Okay. These are just things I'm thinking about now. Okay. Looks like there's loads of us here, and now we've got that out of the way. Let's talk about, and by the way, so the new Better Sax is the first batch is done. They've been delivered. They're in the factory in Elkhart, Indiana, the Constelmer factory. And they're right now being play tested and set up, getting in, perfect playing condition so that they can be shipped out to the people who have ordered them. So if you want to see that, I posted that to my story in Instagram. So check that out. And I'm very excited to see that. So the technicians, they go through each instrument. They, check it with the leak light. They check, there's a whole list. There's a very long list of things they check. All the corks, all the belts, all the mechanisms, the springs, the pads. And then they check it with the leak light. They make sure the tenon is fitting correctly. All the stuff that should be done. Make sure that inside the case are all the things that need to be inside the case. And then there's a play test. So before anybody gets one of these instruments, they get checked by a professional, like a really good player and technician. And, that happens before anything gets shipped out to anyone. And that's super important with, that's the challenge in a low cost or lower cost saxophone is, making sure that it's getting set up properly, not just coming directly from the factory where it's made and going straight to the customer. So I think, that's the thing I'm especially excited about, and why we can, be really confident that everyone's going to be happy once they get one of these. Okay. How about we announce some winners? Okay. So there's 7 winners altogether, and I'm going to announce the winners of the Mastery Bundle of courses first. This is the Better Sax Mastery Bundle. It's all 6 courses that are currently available on Better Sax. And it goes for $299. And this is for lifetime access. So once you get this, you've got it for good. And if by any chance any of these winners, if you win and you've already got some of the courses or you've already got all of them, you can always gift this to someone else. Okay, so so the third, there's 3 of these mastery bundle winners. So the first of these winners is Simeon Doyen, or Simeon Doyen from Chicago in the United States. So congratulations to you. You'll be getting an email, and we will set you up with your Better Sax Mastery bundle of courses. So congratulations. Next, for the Better Sax Mastery bundle, Richard Justus. Richard Justus is from the United States as well. Hold on, let me see what state Richard is in. Colorado, Longmont, Colorado, in the United States. So congratulations, Richard. You as well are going to get an email, and we'll set you up with the Better Sax Mastery bundle of courses. And the last mastery bundle of courses goes to Shawn Murdoch from Southwick, where? Southwick, Massachusetts. Congratulations, Shawn. Okay, so got those out of the way. That's 3 winners for the Better Sax Mastery bundle of courses. And, you know, if any of you want to take any of the Better Sax courses, go to bettersax.com. All the information you need to know is over there to find out if they're right for you, which ones are right for you. I'm very proud of those courses, and the people that take them. I get constant feedback from people saying that how much they've learned, how much it's helped improve their playing. So I have no problem recommending them to you if you're developing and want help to get better on saxophone. Okay. All right, who's ready to maybe win a saxophone? Okay, let's announce the winners of the prototypes. Okay, remember, these are prototypes. They're not exactly the same instrument as this one, but I wanted to give them away, because what's the point of having them sit around and no one playing them? They're great saxophones. Okay, here we go. So we'll call this 4th place, okay, because there's four saxophones. All right, we're going to call this 4th place. Okay, so this 4th place is in Germany. I have to check over here. Germany. Where in Germany is this? I wish I had it on the same. Okay, Bielefeld, Germany. Bielefeld, Germany. Anybody from there in the chat? This is Klaus Benedat. Klaus, you have won one of the 4 prototype alto saxophones. Congratulations. And you'll be getting an email, and you'll just have to reply with your shipping information, and we're going to send that right out to you. So 1 down, 3 more to go. Okay, and this one is Michael Santana, who is from Spain. Michael Santana from Spain. You have won also a Better Sax prototype alto saxophone. Same, you're going to be getting an email, and you send us your shipping information. We're going to, congratulations, yeah, and we'll get that shipped right out to you. Okay, 2 more. We've got from Columbia, South Carolina. Anybody from Columbia, South Carolina in the chat? This 2nd place prototype goes to Elliott Mills. Elliott Mills from Columbia, South Carolina. Congratulations, Elliott. you've won also one of the prototypes. So there's one left. Don't give up hope. There's one left. And we'll be doing more giveaway contests soon for other things, not just saxophones. Like there's other things. I got to start. I have some other, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I thought about this the other day. I've got, you know, all those other saxophones I reviewed. I've got a few of them back there. I'm going to give those away too, sometime in the future. Okay. They're less interesting than a better sax alto, but you know, they're just sitting back there. I don't need them anymore. Okay. Yeah. So first place. This is going to be tough. This was going to be a tough one to pronounce. My apologies in advance. Wow. No, you know what? This is a name with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consonants, 1 vowel. Wow. Crazy. So from Poland, from Warsaw, Poland, Jarek Luszcz, I can't pronounce your name. Luszcz. I really have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try to butcher your name. Jarek, you will be getting an email. Congratulations, you're the first place winner in this contest. We've never had a winner from Poland. I think we've had winners from Spain before. I don't think we've had any winners from Germany though before. So that's cool. Get some new countries in there. And now we've announced all the winners. I will take some questions. I will try to answer some questions for the next, let's say, 10 minutes or so. It's not really an organized way to do this. So if you have an interesting question, put it in the chat, and I will try to catch it and answer some of these. And it could really be about anything. Doesn't have to be about saxophone gear. That's the questions I get the most. Do I get a sax if I have the most liked comment? Yeah. Do you have the most liked comment? You probably don't get a sax for it, but let's see. How many saxophones do I have? That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know because I don't count them, and they're like always coming and going, right? But I've got way more than anyone needs. But that's something I'd like to do, is do some videos about some of my other saxophones, like my vintage saxophones that I don't really talk about much, if anyone would be interested in that. How are we holding up with the COVID? I mean, for me, I sit in this office making videos. I don't know. I don't see very many people. So of course, there's no concerts or gigs, or not much in the way of rehearsals and stuff like that. So it's been a year of just, seeing my family and making content for the internet. So I'm lucky that way, because I wasn't relying on gigs to make my living the last couple of years. So that was really lucky for me personally. It's very unlucky for everyone else, all the other professional musicians that have been relying on performances to make their living. So that's tough. I'm extremely lucky in that way. But I do miss, seeing my musician friends and playing gigs and meeting people in the audiences and all of that. So hopefully that's all going to come back soon, right? Let's see. Wow, that was a lot of questions. Okay. Somebody asked about my Mark 6. It's funny, I was playing my Mark 6 yesterday. I don't get it out and play that much. I was playing the Mark 6 yesterday. I was playing this neck that I got from Jack at Boston Sax Shop. He sent me to try. And I'm going to do a video about this. I'm going to talk about it, but there's no question that it was a big improvement on my original Mark 6 neck. It's so clear. So I'll do some sort of content about that. Maybe we can even do a giveaway on one of Jack's necks. That would be cool, right? because that's really interesting. And it was even an improvement on one of my Yanagisawa necks. So very interesting. I'll talk more about that. I got to test it some more, but I'll get the Mark 6 out and test that. And you know, with the thing that I noticed, like, wow, now I want to play this Mark 6 again, because it just, the neck is so important on a saxophone. It really is. So it makes such a big difference. You know, the closer you get to the player, like everything here, you know, is super important. You know, this is the most important, the player, but the closer you are to the player, the more important it is. So the neck, the mouthpiece, extremely important. The reed, extremely important. The neck is the next most important thing. Saxophone itself is clearly important, but the neck is, you know, just, it looks like, it's just, what is that? It's just a tube, but it's has a big impact on the sound and response. So, and look after your necks. Don't let them get bent or dented or whatever, because all that stuff is not good. Okay. Okay. Thoughts on straight soprano saxophones? Would they be good? Yeah. Straight soprano. I like, you know what? I've decided that I prefer straight soprano to curved soprano. I have a curved soprano, plays great, but I am more comfortable physically on the straight soprano. The reason I got the curved soprano was for traveling. And it's ironic because I got that curved soprano like in February of last year. And I haven't done any traveling with it. The reason I got it was because it's so small that it fits the carry-on size of any airline, you know, even if you're on the tiny little planes. So like, I can take this, I can travel around, always have a nice saxophone with me, and never have to worry, can I get it on the plane? And then, you know, so I will still use it, you know, when we can go back to traveling and I need to travel, I'll probably still take it with me. But if I have to choose, I prefer to play the straight soprano. Someone is asking, just kind of spamming the comments, are there Barry Sax mouth patches? I think you mean like, can you put mouthpiece patches on your Barry Sax mouthpiece? Of course, it's the same exact patch as any other saxophone mouthpiece. How do I find my dream brand like you with Yanagisawas? Well, you know, that's interesting. Which brand to buy? Yanagisawa, Selmer, Yamaha, you know, when you're talking about like professional saxophones or really any kind of saxophone. They're all good, you know, and there's other ones, you know, there's lots of other ones out there now that they're all good instruments. There is no, this is the best. It's all, you know, a lot about personal choice. So try different things. Often we end up getting the instrument that gets like recommended to us by a teacher, or somebody we trust, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot of like, oh, you know, so-and-so said this is the best instrument, so therefore it is, you know, without ever even experimenting with other things. There's lots of great instruments out there. You got to try them, and you're going to be limited by, you know, what is available to you, where you are, or your budget. But it's more about playing the thing a lot. It's play whatever one you got, play it a lot. You know, that's more important. Yeah, somebody's asking about the Yanagisawa WO20. Great saxophone. All the Yanagisawas are great. Hands down, they're all great saxophones. You can't go wrong. They're kind of hard to get now. I guess you have to wait, and they're expensive. But you know, if you are playing at a level where you need you know, a high level instrument like that, I can recommend the Yanagisawa, no problem. Yeah, Ishimori saxophones. Those are good. Those are good. You know, I mean, best sound ever. It's all up to the individual. You know, for one individual, they might play an Ishimori and say that's the best saxophone ever. You know, I know Eric Alexander plays on Ishimori, and he's one of my favorite saxophone players. and he prefers it to his Mark VI. Maybe he needs to get a different neck on his Mark VI. I don't know. It's, he might try another saxophone that he never played before and prefer that one. There's lots of good instruments. The most important thing is just to play the one you got. Would I make a better sax than Barry sax? I mean, if that were to ever happen, it would probably be way in the future. So nobody hold your breath for a better Barry saxophone. It's because there's not a lot of people that need baritone saxophones. There are a lot of people that need altos and tenors. Some people need sopranos, I guess, but Barry is that's a tough one because it's just so big. Okay. I'm going to go to besides a Meyer 5, what other non-metal mouthpieces do you recommend to try or switch over from a Selmer C-Star? Jody Jazz. I like the Jody Jazz HR Star. I think that is a great alternative to a Meyer. They're much more consistent. They're a little bit more expensive, but not so much so. And it's worth paying the extra to get like that consistency. So that I would get, if you're upgrading from a Selmer C-Star, you can go to a Jody Jazz HR Star, and that's a mouthpiece you can use in your concert band and your jazz band. It's that versatile. So it's like a darker jazz mouthpiece and like a more brighter classical mouthpiece, but it can go, it can be used in lots of different things, and they're great. So for the money, I would say Jody Jazz HR Star. Do I double on any other wind instruments? Well, I used to. I used to play clarinet and flute when I was working and living in New York. Every saxophone player plays clarinet and flute because you need to for the gigs. And then I was also teaching clarinet and flute. But then when I left New York and I was, living in France, there was nobody ever asked me to play those instruments. So I started saying, oh, you know what? That gives me a lot more practice time on the saxophone and just frees me up. So I have not played my clarinet or flute in a while. And I don't know if I'm going to get them out. I don't know if I'm going to be playing them. I'm looking to have a more dark sound. What mouthpiece do you recommend? Okay, dark sound mouthpieces. There's a lot. And I'm going to do a dark sound mouthpiece video. At least I have this idea. There's lots of options. The classic option is like an auto link, like a hard rubber auto link. They're on the darker side. I have one that I got refaced, and after it's been refaced, it plays great. Nice dark sound. The new mouthpiece, I just played it on Instagram. The new mouthpiece from Boston Sax Shop. I think it's called the S Series. I played that. You could see, you can hear me playing on that the other day on Instagram. Really dark mouthpiece, yet fun to play, and full access to the whole range of the instrument. So if you want that dark, classic sound, that's one to consider. There's the Jody Jazz DV New York, which they called it a dark mouthpiece. For me, it's like dark and sort of bright at the same time. I love that one, the metal one. There's the new Jody Jazz custom dark, and I've been playing that on soprano, alto, and tenor. Those are great for dark mouthpieces. They're dark, but not like totally dark, so they're still pretty versatile. There's lots of options out there. Lots of things. One of my favorite dark mouthpieces, well, again, it's not super dark. It's the Philtone Intrepid. I love that mouthpiece. But, it's on the dark end of the spectrum, but you can also, it has power as well. You have the same lamp on the wall as you have. Great. Okay. All right. Let's take a couple more questions, and then I got to go. Because, we have a curfew. We have a curfew in France now. We don't have to be home by 6. So, yeah, leave this chat and go practice, right? So, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to leave this chat and go practice. Oh yeah, what do you think about fill tone mouthpieces? All the fill tone mouthpieces are great. I've got a bunch of them. They are all fantastic. They're among my favorite. This one here is a Rift. Love the Rift. Yesterday I was playing the fill tone. What's that one? The Tribute LTD metal mouthpiece. Man, that's a great mouthpiece too. The Intrepid I love on tenor. What's the one on alto that I really like? The Novella I really like on alto. All of them are great. Thoughts on Dave Pollock? Dave is funny. Dave's funny. Very good saxophone player. Amazing saxophone player, and funny YouTuber as well. Okay, yeah. Somebody asked me this question the other day about practicing in an apartment or like when you can't make noise. Okay, this is a problem for everybody, right? Until you live in your own house and you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Or even when you do live in your own house, because maybe you work and during the day and you can't practice at night because other people are sleeping. So there's a few things you could do. You could practice silently, which means this is something that Bob Reynolds has made some videos about. It works. It really works. You set your embouchure, you move your fingers as though you were playing, and you blow the air, but no sound comes out. It's actually really, really effective because what you do, you kind of take the sound out. I mean, you're not developing your sound so much, but you are kind of working on your embouchure muscles. But what it does is it kind of forces you to really focus on rhythm, because now you're almost like you're playing a percussive instrument. So the movement of your fingers, you're just focusing on that movement of your fingers and keeping it very rhythmic and with really good technique by doing that. So it's not quite the same thing as practicing your saxophone, but it's really effective. I've done that in hotels and late at night, and you can immediately feel the benefit of that sort of silent practice. If you need to work on your sound, car is a great place. If you have a car, sit in your garage or drive somewhere outside, and if it's cold and you can leave the engine on, don't leave the engine on in your garage, outside, and so you stay warm and practice in your car. I did that for a while. If it's not super cold out, just go practice outside, if it's not raining. Or if it is, find a parking garage or something, some sort of public place where you can play. If you don't have your own personal space where you can make noise whenever you want, you are limited to a few of those options. But they work. Okay. Okay, you got carpal tunnel syndrome. Yeah. And this is something, obviously that's something you want to prevent before you get it. For everybody playing, whenever you're playing any instrument, any musical instrument, or using, I have to deal with this when I'm editing videos. Anytime you're doing like this repetitive movement, like clicking the mouse or using the trackpad or whatever, your hands and your wrists are in danger of getting this damage. So you have to do everything with the just absolute being as relaxed as you can imagine, and then constantly be getting more relaxed. You can always just keep getting more and more and more relaxed. So find good hand positions and wrist positions and your neck and your whole body for everything you're doing, and make that your priority. So many, students, I remember watching students and just seeing so much tension, and I had it too when I was, developing student. So that's just the number one thing. Practice in front of the mirror and make that one of your top priorities. No tension, and always, forever be working on getting more relaxed. It's going to help you sound better, help you have better rhythm, and physically you won't have pain. Now, if you've already got an issue, you got to talk to your doctor, and and I'm sure that there's exercises and there's loads of stuff like that to do. And when you do go back to trying to play, you got to kind of relearn how to play with no tension. Berg Larsen review. I've got a great Berg Larsen mouthpiece. This marbled Berg Larsen hard rubber mouthpiece plays great. It really is. I've got so many mouthpieces. I wish I could play them all. I have to like choose one at a time. They're all so good. Can you share your thoughts on recording in GarageBand and how to make sure you can record good sound? Yeah, you know what? So in this studio here where I'm right now, I use Logic and I use all like my fancy stuff to record, and the sound comes out really good, with my Coles microphone. I get a better quality sound. But in my practice room at home, I use my iPad and I record with a lightning mic. So a microphone that plugs straight into the iPad, and I record on that using GarageBand. And while the recording quality is not as good as I get in here, it's great. It's still very good. So it's like, recording takes a lot of practice. So I would say, if you want to get better at recording, record yourself every day, listen back, watch YouTube videos there's tons of stuff on YouTube, and just work on it and you'll get better at recording. And when you kind of find that's, the mic position and the settings that make that you get the best sound on your saxophone, that's it. You kind of stick with it. Then there's not so much experimenting once you've got something that works. You save your settings and just do the same every time. What do you think of the eSax Whisper Mute to practice late at night? I used to have one of those, and that was another solution. It's not an ideal solution. I'm so glad I don't have to play in that thing anymore, because it was kind of horrible. It gets really warm and damp inside that thing, because it's just like a box. You're just blowing into it. So it gets very humid inside that thing. You can't play in tune with it. It's always out of tune. So that's really annoying. So that's going to throw you off when you take it out of that thing and then have to play. You're kind of going to be developing some bad intonation habits. Some notes don't speak at all, so you're just going to be avoiding playing the really low notes in that thing. That's not good. It's not ideal. And your playing position is not going to be good because you got this big thing. So you're not going to be holding the saxophone the same way you would without it. So I remember when I practiced that thing, my neck would hurt, and it's just. Oh, and you also, your wrists are in this odd position. It's not ergonomically, it's terrible. And I would think that if you spent a lot of hours playing in one of those things, you could develop some problems, and definitely also some bad habits. So it's really not a great solution, but it does work if that's all you got. I'd rather practice in the car. But there's not. It's an option. It's an imperfect option, but it does work. Can you make an EWI video? Yeah, I could make an EWI video one day. I've got some other electronic wind instrument videos coming, reviews. I've got some other instruments I got to review and talk about. Just finding the time for that is hard. What's the best thing to practice to improve tonguing? Interesting. This is something I'm planning on making a tonguing video. This is a really good question. Tonguing is one of those things that it's almost like the first thing to do to get better at tonguing is to stop tonguing it completely. It depends on what style of music you're playing. If you're playing classical saxophone, the tonguing is super important. It needs to be like precise and exactly fitting what everyone else is doing. But if you're playing jazz, a lot of times like the tonguing gets in the way of what people are trying to do, like rhythmically. Like if you're trying to play fast things and tongue at the same time, very often the result just becomes like bad rhythm, and a lot of things will sound better with very little tonguing or no tonguing at all, as opposed to like not so good jazz articulation. So first, I would say get really good at playing with no tonguing, really good sound, really good rhythm, and technique first. And get used to playing with really accurate rhythm, really, that all in place. And then start adding the tonguing in, but be careful to not over articulate. It's kind of a trap in jazz, I think, the over articulation. Trying to do all these things with your tongue, and what ends up happening is you kind of end up tripping over it. So, like I said, I'm planning on making a video about this. It's one of those tricky things, articulation. We try to teach it and show people how to do it, and then what ends up happening is students end up overdoing it. I did this for a long time myself, just trying to do all these things, and then realizing, like, all right, just step back, don't tongue so much, let it kind of be more natural, and then things start sounding better. So I would say, yeah, get really good at playing slurred first. Yeah, in classical music, you need really good tonguing. Okay, someone wants me to play something before we go. To change your first mouthpiece to a specialized one. Okay, oh, you know what? Something I forgot. I'm going to have to do another thing. The first saxophones, the first better saxophones are going to be coming with these, with key leaves. Key leaves is offering these a set of key leaves with every better sax. So anybody who has ordered the better sax already is going to get a set of key leaves with it, and anyone who orders going forward is going to get one of these things, and that's what it does. It keeps these keys open if you don't know what the key leaves do. I use them on all my saxophones after I play. They really work. Yes, of course, you could kind of stick other things in there if you want, but these work really well. I've been playing on this saxophone every day since I've had it for a couple months now. The pads do not stick. I haven't had one sticky pad on this saxophone. I've had three other brand new saxophones that I've been using with the key leaves since I got them. No sticky pads. It's great. The pads are going to last longer. It's better. So that's coming with all the better sax altos now. Okay, great. So we're going to leave it there. I ended up answering questions for longer than I planned to, but thank you all for being here and for watching all the videos. More stuff coming out on YouTube soon. The first better saxes are going out to people who ordered them next week, and I can't wait. If you've ordered one and it's coming to you, film yourself playing it, tag me in Instagram, let me know so I can hear you playing this instrument and see you with it. I want to see other people with the saxophone, so I'm looking forward to that. I will list. I'm going to put the names of the winners in the description so everyone can see that. But if you've won, you're getting an email. It'll probably be tomorrow sometime you get the email. Okay, great. Talk to you guys soon, and everyone stay safe, and great. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye.